The morning air trembled with tension. A sleek black car gleamed in the corporate parking lot until a janitor's cleaning cloth brushed its surface. Within seconds, a furious voice shattered the silence. A wealthy executive stormed over, red-faced, hurling insults at the janitor for daring to touch his luxury vehicle. Employees froze. Some filmed, others looked away. But what no one saw coming was the quiet figure watching from a distance. The CEO had just arrived unnoticed, and everything was about to change. What kind of power humbles arrogance? And who truly deserves respect? Mr. Langston was not just an executive, he was a spectacle, always dressed in sharp, tailored suits and walking confidently in shoes that gleamed as brightly as the pride in his eyes. He moved through the corporate halls like he owned every brick, every beam. His car, a luxury masterpiece, was more than transportation. It was a symbol of who he believed he was. To Mr. Langston, wealth was not a tool. It was an identity. And status? It was a ladder, one he believed only the elite deserved to climb. Then there was Samir, a quiet man in his late 40s with tired eyes and a calm presence. He arrived before the world woke up, often when the sky was still dark and silent. With a mop in one hand and a purpose in the other, Samir cleaned every inch of the building with care. Not because someone was watching, but because he believed in doing every job with dignity. He never complained, he was rarely thanked, and yet he found silent pride in every spotless floor and polished surface. The story unfolds inside a towering, glass-wrapped corporate building where decisions that affect millions are made in air-conditioned boardrooms, while men like Samir quietly sweep the halls outside. Executives occupy the upper floors, mid-level managers bustle between meetings. And then there are the unseen and the janitors, guards, helpers, whose names are forgotten, though their work is constant. The company's philosophy, printed proudly in brochures and banners, reads, "Every role matters." But in reality, that message often fades beneath the shine of titles and the hum of power, especially for men like Mr. Langston, who see hierarchy as natural order. It was a quiet morning, just like any other. Samir was doing his usual rounds when he noticed a blotch on the surface of Mr. Langston's luxury car. Bird droppings, fresh and stark against the pristine black finish. Without a second thought, and with nothing but genuine intent, Samir took a soft cloth from his cart and gently began wiping it away. But before he could finish, a sharp voice cut through the silence. Mr. Langston had seen him. His reaction was immediate and explosive. He stormed towards Samir, shouting loud enough to silence the entire parking area. "How dare you touch my car?" His tone was filled with contempt. "Do you know how much this costs? People like you should not even breathe near it." Samir froze, the cloth still in his hand, his head lowered. His lips quietly murmured an apology, not because he had done something wrong, but because he had no power to defend himself. Around them, a few employees had gathered. Some pulled out their phones, others exchanged glances, whispered words, but no one stepped forward. No one stood beside Samir. Inside Samir's mind, memories flooded back. Moments from previous jobs, where he had been shouted at for trying to help. Faces of people who had looked through him, never at him. Years of quiet service, unnoticed and undervalued, came rushing in like a tidal wave. Langston, oblivious to this emotional storm, continued his tirade. He mocked Samir, bragging about his car's price, its exclusivity, and how Samir had no right to lay hands on something so valuable. The atmosphere was thick with shame, rage, and helplessness. The audience is meant to feel both furious at Langston and deeply empathetic for Samir, a man punished for nothing but kindness. And then, just when the moment reaches its breaking point, a black car slowly pulls into the parking lot. Its door opens quietly. Stepping out is Eleanor Foster, the CEO. At first, no one notices. But everything is about to change. Eleanor Foster, the CEO known for her calm authority and quiet strength, walks steadily toward the crowd. She had arrived moments earlier unnoticed, but had seen everything, every word, every gesture, every silence. The atmosphere shifts. Employees straighten up, sensing something bigger is about to unfold. Mr. Langston, who just moments ago was thundering with arrogance, turns pale. His voice falters slightly, but he tries to maintain his composure, unsure of what Elena has heard or how she might respond. Elena does not raise her voice. She simply walks over to Samir, who still stands with his head slightly bowed. In a soft, steady tone, she asks, "Are you all right, Samir?" Her words cut through the thick silence, not with anger, but with humanity. Then something no one expects happens. Elena bends down and begins helping Samir pick up the supplies he had dropped during the confrontation. No hesitation, no drama, just action. Quiet, dignified, and deeply powerful. She rises slowly, then turns to the stunned onlookers, employees who had stood in silence moments ago. Her voice is calm, but resolute. What kind of culture are we building? If kindness is met with contempt, the words hit like a wave. No one speaks, but the message is clear. Even those who stayed silent now feel the shame of their inaction. Mr. Langston is speechless. For the first time, he is not the one in control. The power dynamic has shifted, and it is not wealth or title that holds weight. It is integrity. In that moment, something changes. A spark of true human connection appears. Elena sees Samir, truly sees him, as an equal. And that simple act of recognition begins to shake the very foundation of the workplace culture. Elena turns to Samir with a gentle expression and says, "Walk with me." Together they move away from the stunned crowd, but her voice carries so everyone can hear. As they walk, she begins to share something unexpected, something deeply personal. "I started out in maintenance," she says softly. "My first job was cleaning floors just like you. And one day, someone treated me like I mattered. Not because of my title, but because of my effort. That moment changed the way I saw the world. It changed the way I lead today." There is a pause. A breath in the room that no one dares to interrupt. Elena then turns toward the employees, executives, interns, assistants, all standing in silence. She looks at Samir and says, clearly and proudly, "This man shows up every single day, before any of us. He never asks for recognition, yet he works harder than most. His discipline, his humility, and his loyalty, they are the foundation of this building." A shift happens. Eyes that once looked past Samir now see him, not as a janitor, but as a human being of silent strength, of dignity earned through years of invisible labor. Then calmly but firmly, Elena turns to Mr. Langston. No shouting, no insults, just one sharp sentence that cuts deeper than any scream. "Arrogance rots a company's soul." Langston has no words. His status does not protect him now. And then, the moment no one expected. Elena turns back to Samir and says, "If you are willing, I would like you to join our facilities leadership training program." Gasps ripple through the crowd. Not dramatic, but filled with disbelief and finally, hope. A few begin clapping, slowly, respectfully, because for once, something just and right has been done. Samir's eyes glisten, not because he wanted praise, but because for the first time in a very long time, someone saw him, truly saw him. And that changed everything. The very next morning, Samir walked into the building wearing a new badge, no longer labeled as a janitor, but now a supervisor in training. Yet his gentle smile and humble greetings remained unchanged. He treated everyone with the same warmth he always had. Mr. Langston, now quietly demoted and transferred, left the premises in a far, more modest car. From her office window, Eleanor watched silently, knowing that a company's true wealth lies in how it treats the least powerful. In a world chasing titles, it was a quiet act of dignity that truly reshaped the day. Sometimes the quietest hearts echo the loudest truths. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness is never wasted, and true character is not proven when eyes are watching, but when they are not. Comment below. Have you ever witnessed someone stand up for what is right, even when it was difficult? Subscribe for more stories that challenge how we see success, power, and humanity, and reveal the quiet heroes walking among us every day.